Our events are held in webinar conference centers. These are different to conventional webinars, which are more of a passive experience. While internet connections of the servers and of the individual panelists are beyond our control, every effort possible is made to uphold the highest quality of recordings.
The views presented on this broadcast do not necessarily represent that of Rise Multiversity or its individual members.
Okay. Welcome. We're going to get rolling here. Kelly?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to do my little spiel here and bring you on and get this party started. And we're seeing so many familiar faces here today. That's awesome. Welcome, Kip and Rob, Allison, and Patty, and all of you who have participated in the Rise community. Awesome. For those of you who are new, let me introduce myself and Kelly and Rise. So I'm Sienna Leah, Inceptor of Rise Multiversity. We are so honored and grateful to be here with each and every one of you today. Rise is dedicated to empowering your awakening with support, community, self-help tools to navigate this delicate, intense terrain. Holding integrity and standing in our sovereign, infinite selves, we now come together out of separation to declare our intention, our timeline, our passionate choice for our lives and for all that is sacred with the Mother Planet. Today's event is the launch of our Stance movement spearheaded by Kelly Lachey. Kelly is an author, mother, shaman, counselor, beautiful heart, radically dedicated to being both sovereign and authentic, spreading love no matter how deep the challenge. I personally have known very few people who combine this type of chutzpah with the gentlest of loving hearts, the way Kelly does, consistently. I've co-led our Embody You groups with Kelly all this year, and I feel privileged to have shared and witnessed how she brings her love, intimacy to each person going through the liquid mirror material, all the while holding her autonomy. Few people allow others to let their hair down, to be real, true to themselves, and feel deeply. Kelly does that just by being Kelly, while she shares her amazing work. Thank you for launching our Stance movement today, Kelly, for bringing us together to take this next step to manifest the world we truly can be proud to say we have helped co-create. Welcome, Kelly.
Oh, thank you, Sienna. That was beautiful. And you know, what you just described is the same for everyone that chose to be in this room. We all chose to be here together today for a very significant reason. And this is where I'd like to start. So in my introduction to all of this, we are, you know, I mentioned CERN and HAARP and satanic ritual abuse and the satanic ritual abuse in Hollywood and the New World Order, eugenics, the contamination within the governments and the educational systems and so forth. Now, these things all go into one category because I have so much to say about each of them because they're all controversial, whether it's conspiracy theory or not. One thing that we all recognize is that we do not consent to being victims. We do not consent to being slaves, and yet that is their intention. And I would like to open ceremony right now just by giving gratitude to the whistleblowers of the governments, the whistleblowers of CERN, the whistleblowers of HAARP, the whistleblowers, because all of these people have risked their lives so that we would be aware of the design that is behind the cultures that keep us from satiation and experiencing love and being grateful for our lives here. So this is this is what this ceremony is about today. We need to understand the bigger picture first. So I open with, first of all, gratitude to those that have risked their lives to tell the truth, and many of them have been killed. And they did it for us, not to mention our ancestors that have gone through so many genocides, of the indigenous genocides of, they were practicing truth, practicing sacred space, practicing sacred gratitude and appreciation for being here at this time on this earth. And so for us to now start with gratitude for all those that walked before us, to be grateful for, to have the awareness, to know what we do not consent. We do not consent to what their intentions are. And for most of us here today, probably are aware of timelines, the various timelines that are there. If the US dollar falls, for example, what will that look like? We all can see what that might look like, but we don't want it to go that way. So we are choosing a timeline today together. That is why we're coming together in ceremony, because intention is very, very powerful, especially in numbers. That's what the 100th monkey was always about. It just takes a few, and then that extra hit. And there are many of us doing this all over the world, and in many groups of us like this. And so to begin today, we want to clear, I want to give you the bigger picture so that we can clear any kind of resentment, anger, doubt, insecurities, fears, because those are the things that block our energy channels from making our intention effective. And I know a lot of people here today have been activists against the chemtrails and HAARP and so forth, and satanic ritual abuse. So for us to be able to really practice our intention effectively, we need to let go of the resentment and the anger and the disdain, and also the we perceive ourselves, the light and the dark, for example. When we think we're light workers, we think that we are elite to the dark, and that is not true. So I would like to open with reminding us all that we were all on the same side. We are all on the same side. So we have to go back to before our first incarnation here. We have to go back and remember why we chose to be on Earth right now. And it takes the victim out of it, because we all feel like we're suffering. We all feel like we really, because as we awaken, we feel this disdain and know that there's no way I chose this. But we did, and for a specific reason, because our souls all gain from experiencing stretching ourselves here in the belly of the beast, as I've said before. And yet the next step is to remember that we were in relationship with those dark beings, the reptilians, the ET races, the dark forces that we polarize so much, that we were all not just friends, but we loved each other immensely and created this project together. So I offer us today a non-dual perspective of reality so that we can remember that we all chose this together. There are no enemies. We were always allies. So we're here in support of the whole project. And the dark ones did this. They decided to wear the dark mask for us so that we could experience owning our power with all of these forces coming towards us that seems impossible, you know? And so the soul strengthens itself through our human experiences here as we hone our intention, let go of the anger and fear and all the polarized perception of reality. And then as you see the picture behind me, this is what the soul looks like when it is not fragmented and we don't have all of these fears, doubts, and anger inside of us. And then when you make your intention clear and we do it together, it is very, very powerful. So for now, as we let go of all of those things, I'll bring you into, we're going to open sacred space together. And what I recommend is that you close your eyes, and I'm going to open sacred space. And then we will go into practicing our intention together. And also, before I say that, the fundamental operating principles of energy, this is something that has been lost. The indigenous people always practice ceremony, because when we have gratitude and we remember who we were before, when intention is instantly manifest, the basics of that is that frequency emits, and emotion is the most powerful frequency there is. HAARP couldn't compete with feeling. Feeling is our power. And so when we do ceremony, we are feeling as much as possible. And the groundwork usually for people that do this kind of work is we've done so much work on ourselves, to get our emotional wounds healed, and, all kinds of wounds that can get in the way, like the fear and the doubt and the insecurities and just the pain of life here. We heal that. And that I encourage everyone that wants to be a powerful force and to accomplish your soul purpose, to get all of those things healed and out of the way, so that every time you do ceremony, because this isn't just one ceremony, there's so many, it's a way of life, it's a way of living. And so as we clear that continuously as a path, then our intentions become more powerful. So as I introduce you into this experience here, I encourage you to tap into feeling, because feeling is really where the power is for intention to be manifested. So when I open sacred space, it's usually a very emotional thing for me that is very personal and intimate and emotional, because I feel so deeply the gratitude that I'm about to share with you. So I encourage you to close your eyes, because you can feel more if you don't have any outside visual stimulation. To the direction of the east, eagle, condor, great medicine to remind us of how to see the broader perspective. The direction of birth, rebirth, new beginnings, inspiration, the early morning sunrise, and the time of spring when the seeds are in the ground bursting forth with pure potentiality. Thank you for the harmony and balance that we co-create together. Hope. To the direction of the south, great serpent, our great teacher that reminds us to shed our past so that we can create a clear future. South, direction of youth, rapid growth, passion, high noon, in the time of summer when the seeds grow into plants, flowers, and fruit. Thank you for the harmony and balance that we co-create together. Hope. To the direction of the west, great jaguar, the great mulcher of our emotional pain. The direction of maturity, ripening, harvest, the evening sunset, the time of autumn, when the trees are letting go of the leaves they no longer need to make room for a new season. Thank you for the harmony and balance that we co-create together. To the direction of the north, hummingbird, our precious reminder to drink the sweet nectar of life with agility and grace. The direction of endings, death, deep rest, and hibernation. The black, black of the night and the white, white of the snow in the winter. Thank you for the harmony and balance that we co-create together. Respectfully to our ancestors, all those that have gone before us. And I would like to pause here just for that, because truly, like I said, the whistleblowers, our ancestors, the indigenous tribes all over the world, the star nations that they came from, all prepared this path for us now. And kept it alive, the wisdom alive throughout the generations, so that we may have the honor of serving humanity and carrying wisdom forth in this time. It is truly an honor. To the direction of the endless blue sky above, the direction of spaciousness, freedom, infinity, the star nations, Grandmother Moon and Father Sun, thank you for the harmony and balance that we co-create together. To Mother Earth, our greatest teacher of unconditional giving and unconditional love. And to all of our relations, plant, animal, rock, and human. To the elements of the earth that nourish us, the air that we breathe, the water that runs through our veins, and the fire that feeds our passion and keeps us warm. Thank you for the harmony and balance that we co-create together. To infinite life force energy within, all that is, creator, sweet mystery, great spirit, the unnameable one, and now the knowable one. Because now we have access to source, because we insisted upon it. And we are grateful to serve the whole. Thank you for the harmony and balance that we co-create together. Thank you, Great Spirit, for this opportunity to live and serve here on earth. I release to you all that I am not and offer my life to you in service to the entirety of existence. Aho. Now I encourage everyone to stay in this space with your eyes closed. And hold open the possibility right now that you can remember who you are, where you came from before your first incarnation here on earth. Your family, your original family, and your connection with Source, who you truly are. We've been told that that's not possible, so we doubt that we can remember. That's a fallacy. So right now, as we envision the world that we came here to create, remember who you are and what it was like. What was it like? I'm going to give a pause for a minute for that. and to help remind you, because I remember so clearly, the love that we had for one another was so immense. We were willing to do anything for each other and for the earth and for the sun. We had relationships. We had deep relationships that were developed over eons. And the freedom to travel, jumping universes, and the exploration that we had together. You could go to any dimension and any universe and explore and learn. It was the fascination of existence was so enthralling, we would never consider not existing. Oppression is illegal in our natural state. And as we remember our natural state, we remember that we have the resources to manifest natural resources from within. Do you remember what that feels like? Our natural state, exuberantly manifesting so easily and naturally. And you never want to stop because it feels so good. That was the gift of existence that was given to us by Source. And we gave it to ourselves as we are one with Source. And as you feel that, you are downloading your avatar state. Owning all of your power here now. And now, as we are in that feeling experience, see the world that you want to live in. We were experts at seeing timelines, and we do not consent with the timelines that they intend. So now let's sit in silence, and now you envision the timeline that you want to experience. Can you see the lies dispelled? The veil has been lifted, and all gain from this project. There is no more suffering necessary, no more scrambling for survival, the ease and grace, the retribing of people together. It's highly necessary. Rather than making sure that we get the most out of everything, we're making sure that each and every one of us get everything that we need for each other together. In 3D reality, everyday situations, as well as the bigger picture of how the rest of the story goes. Reclaiming peace and the love that we've always had for one another. And all of the greed and the scarcity that comes from those that yearn for our DNA and our capacity to have emotion and love and care for each other, they gain as well. We all win. That is the frequency of harmony. And that is our intention today as we feel it. Because we feel the love, we remember our relationships that we had with one another. And there isn't a technology that can hamper that. I'm going to give us some 2 or 3 more minutes to just stay in this frequency. The thing is that our creed, I remember the creed we made together. I remember that we thought that the hardest part was going to be able to find each other again here. You know, being born in different parts around this globe, this beautiful earth that we live on, and finding each other was the hardest part. And now as we join together, we're all on the same page with what we really want for the earth and for each other and for humanity and for the sun, for the whole project, for all of it. And so we're through the hardest part as we come together. And now the next step of graduation is to truly practice ceremony on a regular basis. And we forgot that it is that effective. But why do the indigenous people do it on a regular basis? And why does Western civilization not practice that anymore? Because those that didn't want us to be doing it created the genocide of the truth of our power in ceremony. And so we gather here today for the first time to experience what is possible, but now on a global scale. It's a big deal. Of course, we all remember what it's like to gather every evening and gather around the fire and sing together our sacred songs, and to dance and drum and laugh and work together throughout the day when work isn't work. Remember back in the day when work wasn't work, we just enjoyed whatever it was we were doing. And this is what we want to get back to. We are retribing in these gatherings. It's what we miss the most, is being together in sacred space like this. And so our fire is the sun, and the heartbeat of the earth is our drum. And that is how we can best be together as a tribe once again in these kinds of moments. And then we will see results as we practice our intention to recreate what is our natural state. And normally in the traditional traditions, we would close sacred space. And I decided that we carry it with us, because there are people that say that, oh, if you don't close sacred space, it'll collapse in 2 weeks. But I disagree with that. We carry it with us. And so now it's a regular practice. We go back and remember as often as we can. We remind ourselves. Every time when you go to bed, you think about this. When you wake up in the morning, you go back to that feeling, what feels free, what feels good, what feels satiating, is this love, this connection. We're not isolated anymore. We're together, even though it seems we're so remote, but we're not. We're energetically frequency. When we're vibrating at the same frequency, we are experiencing our oneness. And as we carry our intentions forward on a regular basis, when you're shopping at the grocery store, you're still there. And you see love everywhere you go, what I call unbearable beauty. Even though you see the pain of the homeless people and the frustrated people, and we can still, by perceiving the unbearable beauty everywhere we look, that is our natural state. And so we carry it forward. We don't close sacred space. We stay in sacred space, and we practice it at every waking state. And that is our work. We are reminding each other that that is our work to do together. Okay, Sienna.
Yeah, you expect me to talk after that, don't you? Okay. I think we're going to play a little shamanistic music. We're going to give people a chance to move around for a few minutes. And we're going to come back and share our experience or ask questions before we close. Okay. So stay with us, stretch, go look at the beauty of what's all around you, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Are you a person who is awakening to the lies and deceptions of our world?
Is your awareness opening more each day to realities you never dreamed existed?
Are you someone who would benefit from authentic support and real tools to no longer be a victim of the Matrix control grid?
If you answer yes, Rise Multiversity opens its doors to you. Rise Multiversity is an online educational portal founded by George Kavassilis, Kelly Lachey, Perry Mills, Evie Lorgan, Tom Montauk, and Sienna Leah.
Explore and connect with others like yourself who are taking their next steps towards sovereignty.
Visit us at risemultiversity.org to learn more about our live, interactive community events and support groups.
The time of imposed separation is over. We have the power in coming together to live our truth now. Check us out, risemultiversity.org.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. So we wanted to create a space to share your experience, share your intention, ask questions. Did I leave out anything, Kelly?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and you have the option to go live on camera. You don't have to. You can just do it through audio. So we'd love to hear from you.
Let's start off with Patty. One moment.
Hi, Kelly. It's so good to see you. I haven't seen your face in so long. Oh my gosh, I almost cried when I saw your face because I've spoken to you, but I haven't seen you, so it's nice. And Adrian, hello. Nice to see you too. Well, that was wonderful for me. I have to say that when you were doing the directions, like all of a sudden I was outside and I was like standing up and I had my hands up and it was like I was doing it myself. It was so, I really felt it. It was beautiful. Thank you. I want to just say that I've been waiting for an opportunity for all of us to come together as people and focus. Like we're like a light and now we're learning how to be a laser. We can learn how to really focus in. And light's great. You need light, but sometimes you need that laser to get a specific place. And that's kind of, it just feels so good to be able to really feel like my energy is collecting with everyone else's to just focus on the same thing and send love and everything. I love it. It's wonderful. And I just want to say that, going to work and all the things we do in our day is very important. And, when people sit and quote daydream or sit and be still, I know we've all heard this, but I want to say it anyway. It's so important to just sit and be quiet and try to focus in on that really good feeling, however you can get there. Like mine is, the feeling I have is like if you kind of worked hard that day, but it was a good work, and then you get home and you're tired and you take an ice bath and your sheets are clean and you get in there and it's just that feeling of like comfort and satisfaction, and then add in like someone, like that's the physical feeling. And then add in like something that really makes you feel love, like a person or pet or trip you to, or being at the beach, whatever, and try to hone in on that. And like right now I feel really nice right here. Like I'm doing all that and and sometimes it takes practice because you're like, yeah, whatever. And so probably the people here will all do that. But it just, for me, that's it. And having that nice feeling and then doing like a ceremony, finding that nice feeling to start your day, finding that nice feeling to end your day, and yet be aware and walk through your day with awareness. And if you're not in awareness sometimes and it like catches you just what's going on, maybe stop and go, okay, why did I lose my awareness? And not that it's a job, just that if we want to make a difference, we got to have the awareness in our day-to-day life to try to live that awareness, but not beat yourself up about still being a person who's in their day and has lots of things going on.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, Patty.
Okay, I'm just going to bring on Sylvia.
You meant Cynthia. Did you?
I hit Cynthia, but yes, Cynthia was on. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Sienna.
Lovely to see you, Cynthia.
Good to see you too. Good to see you too, Kelly.
See you, Cynthia.
And Adrian.
Hello.
Wow. And Patty, that was beautiful. And Sylvia. Wow, there she is.
It's so good to see everybody's faces. It's been so long.
I am so glad you're here. I was just thinking about the other day. I'm not kidding. That is so awesome.
Well, I'd like to share my experience. First, I just want to say how thankful I am to Adrian and Sienna and for Kelly. This was so powerful. I just turned into pure energy. And by breathing into my heart and feeling that energy move out, I feel like I traveled the galaxy and beyond. And I could just see my energy self just sharing love with every being I came in contact with, and colors that I've never seen on the earth before. I could feel all of us together. What a powerful ceremony, just very powerful. And I can go back to it at any moment. I can feel that, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's a leap. It really is. I can understand where some people might have just felt like this is just a guided meditation, and it's not.
No, it's
a frequency. And we doubt that we can remember, and then we doubt ourselves that we can't remember or feel, and I know that's happening for a lot of people, and it's totally understandable if this is new to some. And I did go rapidly through the experience, but because this is the first time, to take people back to remember, and we have to assume that we can remember what it feels like, and it's a leap. It really is, and it's not easy. I'm not speaking to you, Sylvia, because thank you so much for sharing that you really got there.
Yeah.
But it's not easy because there's a little risk in it. That when you remember how great it feels, that freedom, you don't want to live here anymore. You know, that happens. I totally get it.
You don't want to come back.
I know, but I've been back, and you know, I've done it so many times that I feel like my rubber band is worn out, and I don't even want to remember anymore how great it feels to be in my natural state versus living here in the third dimension. And so it's always a challenge, and I did want to share this with people too, but not beforehand, just leap and let's just jump in together, and hopefully those that didn't experience it can understand also that it's reasonable not to just jump in with both feet for the first time, because there's so much contrast between feeling home and with our versus our feet on the ground with all of our challenges in our lives, and living in a dimension that we chose to be in at the same time is challenging and excruciating on so many levels when we remember our freedom versus our the reality of the confinement that we experience here.
Well, I think too that when we do get it, and we have those feelings, and we have that memory and experience that frequency so profoundly, that when we do come back to this three-dimensional part, that we bring that back with us, that we share that with those that we are around in our everyday lives. As while we are, I'm having a hard time with words. I'm feeling this more than, it's like you bring that frequency is with you all the time. So anybody else's space you're in, that frequency is there.
Yes.
Does that make you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the share. It is the share frequency that is the ascension highway.
Yeah.
As we build it, it paves the way for all of us. It's the share. It's the Dan Winter. You turned me on to that. Dan Winter's incredible scientist and mystic at the same time, and I mean he's worked this out in science that it is the share frequency, the thoughts, the feelings, the moment by moment access to being in the share frequency that is going to stabilize the planet, that is going to create the ascension pathway for us all. Yeah, it's very, when we really go there, it's very hard to speak because it's such a, what do you call it, Kelly? The unbearable beauty. As our hearts are opening and feeling how hard it is to stay in that kind of love and vulnerability in this dimension. But nonetheless, we can. And that's, you know, what coming together and through Rise or wherever that's happening on the planet where we're not alone in it anymore. And because it becomes so agonizing to be alone that we often get co-opted and shut down.
I actually do have something I wanted to say.
Beautiful. By all means, Cynthia.
I've in the last while, 2 or 3 months, Kelly, I realized that I've been in a space of not really being able to see or feel that things could be any different, that we could really make a difference about things being different than what it is sort of put out there that it's going to be, you know, and what it seems like it's going to be like. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I do know that now for the first time, and this has been growing for several months, that I have the feeling that, I say this about anything else but now I say it about this, that anything is possible. That I'm really feeling that it's possible to create. I've been doing it in my life. And it's just so amazing to me. It was almost like being afraid to really embrace that because it didn't seem possible. And it would just be more heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Just more heartbreak on top of heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
And but now it's different. And I have you to thank, among others, but I definitely, it's you are part of helping me open up to seeing it being a different way.
Oh, thank you. Because this is the lie. We've been taught a lie that we can't do anything about this. It's in everything. It's in our DNA. It's in our cultures. It's in our religions. It's in our governments. It's in the educational system. It's so ingrained in us that to the extent that our doubt prevents us from believing in who we really are and our power. And this is an exercise of deleting the lie and replacing it with the opposite truth, and then experiencing the exhilaration. So we're not in a rush to get home anymore, because we're here for a reason to do this together. And yeah, I mean, there's so much potential, but we have to delete the doubt that is so deeply ingrained in us. We doubt that we can even remember who we are. We doubt that we have this much power. We doubt, all the doubts that are ingrained in us. So that's what we're extracting through these experiences together. And as we do it together, then we can mirror for each other. And this is one thing I didn't say earlier, is that, you know, my book is based on liquid mirror, and I say liquid mirror because reality is a perception, and we are the projectors on the screen of reality. And as we project the reality that we want to see, the screen is malleable, and then we create the reality that we want to live in. And that is our power. And we are going to do this together. We signed up for it, and we're going to watch it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we break through all these doubts that have just been, you know, ingrained in us, but then it's so freeing every time we do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Mm. Thank you, Cynthia, for being here today.
Next up is Alana. I can't see anything on their screen. Can you?
No, not yet.
All right, let's bring on Lauren then in the meantime, just in case.
Oh, wait a second. I just remembered that. Then let me give my email address because my website isn't working. If anyone wants to ask a personal question to me, they need to know my email address. And that is kellylachey@gmail.com.
All right, we're still having issues with Alana, but Lauren's with us. Hello.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Kelly. Thank you. Aw.
Hey.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. And so I just love the way you create, when you create ceremony, and for sharing it and for guiding me. So I have like a set point to be able to know what to do and how to expand. So thank you so much for the experience. And in my experience, I started to just really see how we are going to transfer what we were talking about in that fifth dimensional heart space to bring it down into the third. And then I just saw everybody like rolling up their sleeves and be like, all right, so what are we going to do? And seeing like trading and creating. And I sort of just, because I have this from the work I've been doing as far as like creating things and sewing and making, that I know that feeling of when you wake up in the morning and you're like, what are we going to do today? The most amazing thing ever. I can't wait to get up, and I can't wait to make until I go to sleep. And so I kind of just expanded that feeling and saw what the world would look like if everybody had that feeling, and kind of like almost got like this bits of, this is how you start, this is what you're going to have to do first, and this is what we're going to have to do second, and you know, like intel for my own path to start to get everybody involved and like feel what it feels like to start creating and start being together and start sharing and developing that feeling like in the 3D, because we're in the 3D where this, what we just created in this ceremony, needs to kind of funnel down and use these molecules in this physicality and be like, all right, well, what does it feel like when we put it into the earth and we grow tomatoes? What does it feel like if we like feed these sheep and we get this wool and then we spin the wool? And then I saw the one person spinning the wool, and then everybody coming together and using machines for powerful goodness and trading. And then I got this thing called, it was called like article trade kept coming up, or everybody was article trading and sharing. And then the final bit that I got was the people that have been creating the disharmony at the top levels, like the bankers and all of that. I kind of like saw them where we all came to them with our hearts and helped them feel what it feels like to feel compassion and be involved, and be like, no, you want to get involved? This could be fun. And then them trying things and being like, oh, wow, I had no idea. And like people that they were oppressing, like sharing with them and clapping and being like, yes, see, isn't it fun? And they'd be like, I can do it too, you know, and seeing everybody creating physically is my experience of what I was trying to apply, you know.
The exuberant enthusiasm is really where the frequency comes from that creates change. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean,
and the humor as well.
Working in the 3D fun, and you can manipulate, and if only we could get more of that remembrance back of what you were saying about how we have all of this ability to create this abundance from within. So if we can kind of like balance that and funnel that into the molecules that are moving in this sort of 3D way, and be able to like create at a faster rate and make it go faster and faster and more and more and more, and then we share and share and share, it could be so fun. Like, when do we start? What are we doing today? Let's start.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what we want. That's the juice.
Eleanor, write you a question.
Yes, she wrote a question.
She won't be able to, there's technical issues, so if you could answer her question, but she wrote.
Okay, so that question is...
what is the question? I'm looking at...
well, she was working in both boxes. Hang on. Here. I want to ask Kelly more about the creed she remembers. The creed she remembers.
Oh, the creed. The creed that we made was, okay, so back to now when we were all together before the Earth decided to become a planet and the sun became a sun, we were all souls together. And we were starseeds, not all necessarily from the same family, but all came together to be together. But we had already done so much together on so many other projects, and that's how we knew each other. But we loved each other so immensely. It was like, oh my goodness, this Earth project is going to be, well, it's the Lucifer's project. And so we were together saying, oh, we're okay, so we're going to separate and go incarnate into the Earth, and who knows how long it's going to be, and if we'll find each other again to make sure we can pull this off together. It was a huge risk, and we all looked at each other in the eyes, but we don't really have eyes there. It depends on which dimension you're on, but our bodies are more ethereal, going from this dimension all the way up to the 13th dimension and beyond, and it all depends on which dimension you live in and so forth, in terms of what your body looks like. Anyway, but when we're together, we all looked at each other, and okay, the hardest part is going to be to find each other, because we remember the drop of incarnation, going down the canal, and then right, the jump, and then all the way into the umbilical cord. Your soul got crammed into a baby, into a hospital, and we all knew that we were going to do this on different places around the planet. And so we knew that the hardest part would be to find each other, because we were spread across this huge globe. But then we knew that if we do find each other, we're going to be able to pull this off. The hardest part will be finding each other. And the internet, and you, Sienna, and Adrian, and all the whistleblowers, and the technology is working for us right now to where we can find each other. And now that we have found each other, we got it. That's the retribing thing. Once we find each other, we can do this together and do everything that we intended to accomplish. That's the whole point. And we did it. We got through the hardest part.
Yay!
Woo, woo, woo.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we have Steve with us, and he's the last person to, for the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Steve.
Hi. So I'm unmuted, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. And thanks so much for all the effort that's gone on to put this together. I was a little bit leery. I've been watching Multiversity and using my intuitive powers to kind of feel you guys out, because as you know, there's other groups that do these types of meditations or gatherings, and it's a kind of a feed for the matrix. I mean, they feed off the energy. And so, you got to be discerning about where you go and who you join. And it's very tragic because I think some people were turned off joining this group because of those fears. And again, I don't know what to do except, again, you use your intuitive powers, and you guys all feel very good to me, and you feel genuine, and you have loving intent. So, and I believe in the power of ceremony. But are you guys concerned at all about, how do you kind of reassure that this is some focal point, for the astral energy feeding?
It's fearlessness is invisibility.
And may I say something here, Kelly?
Uh-huh.
Also, we're very, we have a number of different people, George, Carla Fox, myself. Carla works with clearing the interference. George works with exposing the interference. My work is shadow genesis, which is owning the places where the interference comes in. We're all syncing up so that RISE becomes an educational pathway to clear that stuff, so that we can. It's a learning curve.
Yeah,
we're looking at it straight in the eye. This isn't the woo woo. Just we'll all be the love and make the world tomorrow. Yay us! Like I've been shadow diving for 40 years. We've got some very grounded people here, and this is one of our offerings. But we fully understand that if you've got all kinds of leaks and contracts and things, that there's going to be a learning curve, but we need to start somewhere.
Oh, yeah. No, and I think that's important is the whole New Age movement is, they shy away from the negative, or they don't acknowledge the negative, I think, a lot. And your group and other groups that I follow that I think are genuine, you realize there's a lot of negativity, a lot of terrible, horrible things going on, and you want to acknowledge it, try to heal it. But yeah, I think it proves your how genuine you are. And I think, again, what you're doing, I think people will pick up on it. There's more people, obviously, they're not as far along their path, and so they still are afraid. So again, all we can do is build on this, like you said. But no, I appreciate this, and I liked the idea that we keep the sacred space open. I like that idea because, again, I think that as we go throughout our everyday lives, this never ends, this energy and our connection to the earth. And yeah, these things are open and working all the time. I don't meditate really, because I think my life is one big meditation. All my interactions and everything I try to do is in connection to spirit, soul, source energy. But that's kind of where I come from. But I really appreciate all of your interaction. And I know it doesn't seem like very many people, right, on our earth of 7 billion people, but it is amazing the power of just a few individuals. That is amazing, and it's another proof of our power.
Mm. Yeah, and there are more of us doing this, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for the share. I totally agree. It's every moment in the here and now is where our power is. It's not about doing some little ceremony and then like going to church and
Right.
culpa me culpa and go out be the same dickhead that you were when you before you walked in.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anybody else, Adrian?
Yes, we have a David. Hello, David. Let me unmute you. Hi.
Hello there. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm, this is my second webinar, fairly new. I've been following George Kavaslis a bit from up here in Canada over the years. And I just want to say it's great to be in touch with these old souls. I know they are all old souls and have been through many lifetimes of things to have empathy and understand that they have been those situations and people in the past, and it's great to connect. I don't really have any questions particularly, other than just to kind of introduce myself as being a I get a lot of value from these, and I've been on this path quite a while. I'm not a young person, but anyway, it's great, and I just wanted to state that in public here. So thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank
Putting
you.
forth your energy. Beautiful.
Thank you so much, really.
You're very welcome. No, it's I try to bestow unconditional love with everyone I come in contact with, and try to feel their vibrations and try to give them mine in return.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to have some male energy here today.
I know. That's what I was going to say. Not many men want to participate in these things.
Yes, well, I think we all have been female and male over the incarnation, so
Yes.
we have to embrace our past and be in touch with our mother conscience,
Mm-hmm.
and share that lovingly with those we come across in life at all times. I agree with the previous statements and caller there when he said that we have to do this 24/7. It's not really a weekly or monthly thing, that we have to be in the high vibration always, and regardless of opposition, stand in your own authenticity and power, and not be fearful at all, because we've been here so many times doing the same things elsewhere, and here we are again. So let's keep at her. Let's keep pulling the rope.
Exactly. That's the thing about memory, is then we remember everything that we did to qualify. How much we have trained for this.
Exactly.
That's the value of the memory. We have trained so hard for this to earn the right to do it.
Exactly.
And then the victim goes out, and then we embody the power, because then we remember, I'm qualified to do this.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of us have to go through, is to feel worthy of it. As George Kavaslis says, he uses that term, and I resonate with a lot he says, a lot I don't, but I have my own authenticity, so I resonate with what feels good. I can tell when it feels good to me, so that's what I go with, my intuitiveness. And it's not saying I'm better or anything. It's just that we're all different, and we all are on our different paths. Mm-hmm. So I think the thing that unites us is love, and we have to embrace that and magnify it. That would be my point today.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And the self-trust. We have to rely on ourselves first and foremost. or intuition, and not outsource or rely on anyone else to tell us otherwise than what we know inside for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the path right there.
Yeah, you want to trust your own intuitiveness.
Yes.
Don't let someone tell you that you're not right for yourself, because you are. You're perfect for yourself.
Right.
You know, and that's the way we all are. We're all equal that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing your face and your spirit and your message with us.
Oh, I'm very blessed to be able to do this. Thank you.
Okay. Kelly, do you have any closing remarks? I have a few notices about upcoming events in Rise that I would like to share. It'll be brief, but
yes, go ahead. I'm complete. Go ahead.
Okay, so before we all go our separate ways, well, in our bodies anyway, I'd like to invite you to continue building this field with the Rise community. If you feel called to do so, you can visit us at risemultiversity.org. We now have a Facebook page, thanks to Jolly D. If you go to the Rise Multiversity Facebook page, it's pinned on the top how to join the closed group. And then you have access to a private conversation with like-hearted beings. And it's a sweet place to share research, perspective, what inspires you, latest media materials that are resonating with your awakening heart, your thoughts, your feelings, your truths. It's a beginning. We have lots of bigger dreams of us coming together, but it's a beginning. And please have a look at our upcoming Embody You groups, as they are a venue where we gather in small groups to dive deep, heal, share, support, and have a lot of laughs while doing it. And there's 2 new groups we'll be starting within the next 3-month time frame. Kelly will be leading EU liquid mirror groups, utilizing her wisdom to help people release their past, shore up their leaks, find their sovereign flows, and live a life worth the hassle of 3D. And again, you can contact her directly through her email. You can join her group by going to groups at Rise Multiversity. It's when is your start date, Kelly? I forgot to write it here.
January the 10th.
Okay, January 10, and these are very affordable. They're 8-week groups. She meets every other week. You get her workbook, you get the liquid mirror book, and you get to be in an intimate small group where you have the gift of sharing your emerging authenticity. And then I have starting February 21st, I'm starting SG1. I love that. Shadow Genesis. This is also a small group where we become proficient at shadow diving, having a look at how to bring self-respect and love even to our most wounded and distorted aspects. It'll be time to go within, integrate our fragments, bringing ourselves fully into the present, being empowered and authentic. So, and there's a page on that under groups where I go into it in more detail. You can feel free to contact me directly if you have questions or wonder if it's a fit. I'm happy to chat with you free of charge. You can contact me through risemultiversity@gmail.com. I'm again Sienna Leah. And then December 5th, we'll be presenting Tools of Transition 3 with Carla Fox. It will be a session on removing your chakras. It's likely to be amazing, as the first 2 have been, and the first 2 are in the shop. If you've missed them, a lot of people gained a lot of benefit from that. And yeah, all of the Rise webinars are in our shop. George Kavasalis' series, Navigating the Matrix, he'll be doing another one, probably the first part of January. So that's all my spiel. I hope you don't mind, but I had to take responsibility for letting you know all that stuff too. So I just want to say blessings to each and every one of you. We're so honored to be holding this sacred space with you. May the world in your heart be made manifest. Okay. Anything more, Kelly?
No, thank you everyone for being here today, and may we continue our frequency work together, whether we gather again in this format or not. There's this frequency was emitted, and everyone can take it with them and do what they wish with it. It was at least one connection, and that means a lot.
Okay, if you want to unmute your mics, everybody can say goodbye, and we will complete our Sunday or Monday if you're in Australia.
It's good to see you, Sylvia.
Something to
Good to see you too, Patty.
if I could.
Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Love you all.
Kelly, you're bringing the elders together. You really are.
Oh,
and that's something that's the reason I came here today, and it's something George Cavasillas told me that I was going to be doing, which is the reason I joined this. And then you said that, and you talked about the original creed and so that to me was the number one purpose of this particular thing. And so that got me very excited. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Maybe
I'd like to hear more about that creed.
Oh yes, absolutely. Email me. We can connect.
Okay, good. Thank you, Kelly.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that very much.
Okay, bye everybody.
Okay, I love you guys.